Hello everyone. Wherever in the world you're joining us from, welcome to Huawei Industrial Digital Transformation Conference 2021 and this ISP session held exclusively online. Today, following the theme ICT helps the internet service industry cope with traffic surges, we're going to discuss how to cope with the surge of broadband requirements, accelerate the development of a fully optical internet, build world-class data centers, and drive new business transformation. And we're lucky enough to be joined by key business executives, core partners, and thought leaders in the ICT industry to do just that. To get us started, Mr. Li Hongbo, President of Huawei's Global Internet Service Industry Department, is going to introduce Huawei Internet Service Industry updates and propositions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good morning, and good afternoon. Welcome to join the Internet Service Industry online session during Huawei Industrial Digital Transformation Conference. My name is Hobie Li. I'm in charge of the global internet service industry business at Huawei Enterprise Business Group. I'm very privileged to make speech here and would like to share some updates and propositions of Huawei in this industry. Thanks for the great support from our customers and partners. Until now, Huawei has served more than 2,300 customers in the internet service industry, including 1,460 ISP customers, 500 MTDC MSP customers, and 360 OTT customers. In 2020, we saw the global network traffic grow by 35%, which was accelerated by the pandemic. More and more enterprises have chosen to deploy applications on cloud. 85% of their applications will be on cloud by 2025. The time spent on online services also increased by 38% last year. The pandemic has changed people's behavior and accelerated the digital transformation progress. In 2020, we also cooperated with more than 1,200 partners, launched 4 scenario solutions, held 5 industrial summits, and released 1 white paper of the internet service industry in order to gain a deeper understanding into the industry and support our customers' business success. There have been 3 phases in the development of the internet. In the 2000s, the main applications are web browsing, searching engine, and the barrier network was preliminary. Then it was the mobile internet area in the 2010s, when we benefited from the convenience of the O2O and e-commerce. Meanwhile, large internet DC appeared, along with 4G and GPON, which are fundamental to enrich our life. Now we are in the 2020s, and a more intelligent internet world is coming. Thanks to the deployment of the 10 GPON, Wi-Fi 6, 5G, and edge computing, some advanced immersive experience such as AR, VR, cloud gaming, as well as some new types of services can be realized based on the facility with the ultra-low latency, big bandwidth, and the AI capabilities. According to Google and Temasis's survey, there will be a 20% to 40% growth of the GMV of internet content economy in the pan-Southeast Asia in the next 5 years. And the EU Gigabit Society 2025 also put on the agenda. And the key to the success of this initiative is the deployment of the ICT infrastructure. The internet service industry changes rapidly, not only in terms of the business model, but also in terms of the technology development. There are 3 trends driving the industry forward. Firstly, in terms of the internet access, the customers are witnessing a new wave of transformation from the cable or copper to the fully optical network, which can guarantee a much more better experience for the last mile access. Besides, the adoption of the new generation optical and the new IP protocols enable a more adaptive and programmable way of design and management. The operation is optimized by AI big data approach for both self-diagnosis and troubleshooting automation. Secondly, DC operators are looking to provide a multi-cloud installed base for their customers, including the large DC or edge computing for different purposes. MSP can help with an acceleration of digital deployment process in a cloudification way. Thirdly, a diverse range of new services are emerging nowadays. More and more OTT will provide mixed service and open their ICT platform capability to public. The mixing of business model is also the trend. And in another way, ISP can also leverage their network strengths and transform to network operation plus managed service, such as managed Wi-Fi services, colocation services, and even cloud managed service. Based on the technical requirement of new generation Internet, Huawei would like to offer 7 typical solutions for the Internet service industry. For the IAP, IXP customers, we offer all optical network solution and integrated pairing network solution, which are based on the Liquid OTN, FlexPON, and SRv6 routers, in order to deliver a high bandwidth and low latency network. For MTDC, MSP customers, we offer DC Energy, one-stop DC solution, and Cloud Camper solution, which can help you implement fast in the DC construction, flexible deployment, and simplified the O&I. For OTT, Huawei is ready to provide our best product portfolios, including the customized servers, distributed storage, in addition to Huawei's public cloud solution, so as to provide higher computing performance, shorten the service rollout time, and enhanced AI capabilities. In the end, we would like to leverage Huawei's innovative and reliable solution to help our customer partners to build a full optical and intelligent network for a better digital transformation. Thank you very much.
Digital transformation has become a key trend over the last few years. But how can we successfully conduct this transformation and reap the benefits? Let's find out from Win-Kin Liang, CTO of Huawei Enterprise Business Group.
Thank you very much for joining us today. In this section, we would like to share with you how we see the technology development in the networking sector that will enable our service provider customer and their end customer to accelerate the digital transformation process. So if you look at this picture, this is typical end-to-end view talking about how the ISP service the end user, both in terms of 2B and 2C. So in this market, we do see their service provider focusing on data center. There are also service provider focusing on network, and also so-called MSP, managed service provider, to provide managed service for the customer in the customer premises. So in this section, we will be focusing on the networking sector, and also we will also highlight some of the area the networking service provider to extend their business to work as a MSP. So this is an end-to-end picture talking about the different segments in terms of network service provider networks. So we do see data center networks focusing on linking up all the resources in the data center. Then we do see the so-called DCI, or the backbone core, to link up the data center to form the lectional or the regional backbone. Then we do see the metro backbone in the city to hook up all the sites within the city. And of course, there's a last mile network to link up all the end users from the customer premises to the network. And of course, in the customer premises, there are also different type of network for different types of users, including 2B and 2C. So there are different technology being deployed in different segments. So in data center network, we do see DC LAN. DWDM has been used extensively in both backbone core and also metro backbone. There are different type of broadband access technology developed for different type of media to hook up the end user to the network. And of course, in the campus LAN environment, there are typical Ethernet network and also Wi-Fi. But on top of it, we also see IP. So IP are used end-to-end to link up all the different segments together to form unified IP network to provide service in the upper layer. But there are different technology being deployed, even though it's all of them are IP. There are different type of IP being deployed in data center network, in the IP core, and also in the customer premises to link up all the customer together. So this is the end-to-end view talking about the so-called IP layer. And of course, no matter DWDM, IP, last mile network, or broadband access technology, software-defined has been used extensively in the control plane. AI has been used extensively for intelligent O&M. So we will cover that later. And of course, after building up the network, the service provider is extended their service to provide managed service for both 2B and 2C. Some of the examples showing up here, including, for example, the managed Wi-Fi storage service. So in this section, we will give you an update on each of the components shown up in this slide. So let's start with the bottom layer, DWDM. The direction for DWDM in the last few years has been very consistent. Continue driving for higher bandwidth, longer distance, and so-called intelligent O&M. So you can see as of today, today you can expect per lambda, that means per channel, you can expect 100G, 200G, 400G, 600G, and 800G per lambda will be available soon. And we're also talking about multi-lambda, that means multi-channels per fiber, and different technology using different band, different spectrum band are developed. So you can see people now extend to super C band and all the way to super C plus L band. The overall concept is to increase the number of available channels per fiber. As of today, you can expect, in terms of large-scale deployment, close to 50T per fiber, and 100T per fiber. You can expect in the very near futures. So in short, bandwidth per fiber will be continued increase, and then this is always one of the direction for the DWDM technology. And of course, this only talking about per fiber, but of course at the same time, people also talking about the switching. So we do see the evolution of ROADM moving from 9 degree to 20 degree, moving forward will be to 32 degree, and also we also start to see so-called optical cross connect largely deployed in a large scale user like the OTT. So we do see both the bandwidth increase per fiber and also the switching capability increase in terms of both ROADM and optical cross connect. From service standpoint, OTN has been developed for many years. So moving from multi-service OTN, that means based on optical DW network, you can expect multi-service. The next step is what we call the liquid OTN. That means you can expect even fine granularity. That means you can expect up to, for example, 2 meg per OTN moving forward. And because of that, we start to see people leveraging the optical technology to extend not only in the core, but also to the central office and also to end user. This is what we call the DC direct. That means the DC service based on OT, based on DWDM, all the way extended to the customer premises, so that you can expect even high quality of service in terms of latency available to the end user premises. And as a matter of fact, as an extension, we also start to see the optical industry trying to integrate the OTN and PON. As what we call quite a lateral extension, a cost-effective next step for DC direct. So in short, DC based on DWDM all the way extended to user premises, using together with GPON technology will be one of the options available for those customers who expect high bandwidth and high quality. And of course, as I said, O&M, so people are using AI technology in the networking sector extensively, and also SDN technology for the whole networking sector. So optical is nothing special, nothing unique. So people are using AI and SDN extensively for optical. So you can expect intelligent O&M based on that. So another sector is what we call the broadband access. So there are different technology available in the market because there are different physical media in the last mile deployment. So the industry need to come up with different technology to leverage all these existing installed cables. But while we do see the industry continue putting effort to come up with different technologies suitable for different physical media, we do see the FTTX technology based on fiber is getting more and more dominant in the market. Another direction to that is that we do see people also using this type of technology not only for the 2C market, but we also see the industry try to apply it to the 2B market for special 2B environment. So if we go down into detail regarding the technology, as I said, the industry continue to develop different technology for different media, but FTTX it's getting more and more dominated. As of technology development in the FTTX or the GPON technology, GPON has been still the biggest, the most popular technology deployed in the market. But we start to see the deployment of XGPON, in particular XGS-PON, getting more and more popular. So we start to see a high increase of procurement of XGPON and also XGS-PON. The next step for GPON is what we call the 50G-PON. So the industry is trying to standardize 50G-PON as the next generation for FTTX. The technology will be available, the standard will be available soon. Copper is still very much the media used in a lot of developed countries, for example in Europe. So we do see G.dot fast largely deployed. And the next step is what we call the D.dot MG fast, which allow to have a 4 to 5 gigabit per second for transfer. Okay, that may take some more years to develop, but the direction for copper is clear. There's still technology developed, there's still standard developed to enable it to have higher bandwidth. For coaxial cable, the people are moving from CMTS 3.0 to 3.1. But the point but we also start to see in this particular market, the direction is actually moving away from coaxial and transition to FTTX or the fiber optic technology. And we already start seeing very large scale transition to FTTX for those CMTS service provider. Okay, so in short, fiber will be the dominant technology. Copper will still be there for some years, but for coaxial cable, most likely it will be moving to FTTX. And of course, there are still some country based on ETTX. Then we do see moving from 1G to 10G as a lateral extension for those countries based on ETTX. But as I said before, the people in the industry start to realize that there are certain physical environment in the 2B market. It's much more convenient, much more effective to use GPON as a technology as a complementary to Ethernet. So we start to see what we call the converging IP-based solution that allow the customer to pick the standard Ethernet or FTTX so that they come up with the most optimum solution for the 2B environment. But finally, no matter what sort of technology, what sort of media being used, in the broadband access technology similar to DWDM we talked about before, AI-based software-defined control and management for intelligent OEM is direction for the broadband access industry. So this is a quick summary talking about what you can expect in terms of broadband access technology development. But if we talk about solution itself, the direction for most of the vendors were very similar. First, unified access. That means the single equipment that allow you to choose whatever technology is suitable for different media. The backplane need to move from centralized to distributed backplane. Reason for that is that you need to go for digital backplane in order to have the required performance. One-to-many virtualized. That means one single box can be virtualized so that different user can use it as a separate network. This is so this sort of virtualized technology has been used in, for example, data center switching has many years, but it's also start to deploy into broadband access. And once again, I mean, cloudify, SDN, and AI-based O&M is the direction of the broadband access solution. So, other than DWDM, other than broadband access technology, there are certain areas that it is not convenient or too costly to lay the cables. So we always see microwave as a complementary for the fixed network, both in terms of point-to-point and point-to-multipoint. So if you look at the slide, then we do see development on point-to-point microwave technology. As of today, you can expect 16 gigabit per second per single antenna, and in order to drive the cost down, so point-to-point microwave will be they are V-band based or E-band based point-to-point microwave that allow for the customer to choose, so that you can have a lower cost deployment for point-to-point microwave. We also see point-to-point deployment because we also see point-to-multipoint deployment or equipment available in the market, because point-to-point is mainly for the application, but we do see some physical environment that is better to have point-to-multipoint technology. So there are also solutions based on this. Then, for example, because this is actually mainly to cover the so-called last mile, it does provide the features suitable for last mile broadband access. That means regardless whether you use GPONs or point-to-multipoint technology, the service to the upper layer is the same. So then you can see the features like E-line, E-LAN, aggregation, all that available in the point-to-point microwave. This is actually the same type of service you can see in the GPON technology. In order to have different type of service available to end user, so point-to-multipoint solution, you also allow the customer to select different uplink, downlink, throughput arrangement. So this is particularly helpful for those service providers that expect to use a point-to-multipoint for the last mile. And another important difference between point-to-point and multipoint is what we call the fast deployment and also simplify O&M. So this is to allow the service provider to deploy the technology easily. And long-term wise, direction very similar to optical and other, continue driving for higher bandwidth, longer distance. So as of today, you can expect 20G, but moving forward, there will be 40G, 100G moving forward. And then there are different technology deployed to allow you to higher bandwidth. What we show up here, you can expect to have a multiple transmitter receiver used in the antenna and multi-frequency antenna as well. So this is direction for what we call the microwave. So low matter DWDM, low matter broadband access, low matter microwave, in terms of architecture, remain the same. But the technology is trying to, the industry market is trying to put effort to drive for higher bandwidth, longer distance, and intelligent OM. That's the same. But if we move to IP, we do see recent years the industry is actually trying to have what we call the architecture change, because the industry finally realized that it is time to make a change in the architecture that allow people to use IP, to deploy IP even more effectively. One of the directions is what we saw up here, is what we call decoupling between the service layer and their network layers. So if you look at typical IP network, it basically consists of two major functions, the forwarding plane and also the service plane, like, for example, like the BWAS to terminate the end user logically. So in the past, during the deployment, normally people, the service provider may combine two different functions in one single box. That means one single box may be used to provide these two different type of services. But moving forward, we start to see people try to decouple it. The backbone or the metro network backbone is simply targeted for high performance forwarding. And it leaves the service nodes focusing on different type of service. What we saw up here is RSG for radio, BNG for broadband. So the direction is to decouple the service layer and also the bare network service layer, allow for simplicity and also dynamic deployment. The second direction is what we call the second direction in terms of IP architecture change is what we call fabric architectures. In the past, in a very typical service provider environment, people go for ring type technology. But moving forward, we start to see people using what we call the fabric architecture. So there's a core function layer focusing on forwarding different traffic from the edge function. The reason for that is, first, lower latency, because the less hop between two endpoints, the lower the latency. And more importantly, it's also what we call the elastic scale out. So you can add whatever edge function whenever required. So this is getting more and more popular deployment models in the service provider network. So moving from ring type to what we call the fabric architecture. Another major change in terms of protocols. So in terms of protocols, first, I mean, in the past, we do see a lot of different VPN protocol, like layer 2 VPN, layer 3 VPN, PPTP, all that. It makes the deployments too complicated. So one of the effort of the industry is trying to differentiate eVPN as single technology to consolidate all those different type of protocols. So moving forward, eVPN will be the only protocol to be used in terms of provide virtual circuit services or VPN services. On the other hand, in terms of traffic engineering, traffic optimization, the direction is go for segment routing. And there are two different segment routing technology available in the industry, so SR and SRv6. And given that IPv6 is getting more and more popular, and there are different additional advantage of SRv6 against SR. So we do start to see that large-scale deployment of SRv6 network being seen in the market. So in short, eVPN and segment routing will be the direction in terms of the logical layer. So of course, I mean, similar to other technology like DWDMs, broadband, and also microwave. The industry continue to develop different hardware platform that allow you to have higher capacity in terms of IP layer. So for the access layer, you can always expect up to 40 per box. Aggregation layer up to 40 per slot. And also in the core layer, you can expect even up to almost 15T per slot. I mean, so the industry is trying hard to come up with the required capacity that allow you to deploy a large-scale IP network to cope with the increasing network traffic. And another direction is actually talking about the deployment. So you can see that multi-service to the edge, including multicast to the edge, that may be able to help you to save a lot of bandwidth. We do see layer 3 all the way to the edge. And also we also start to see that FAXI will be one of the most common deployed technology that allow the service provider to match with different requirements from the end user regarding bandwidth. So another direction in terms of it is what we call the 50 GGE. 50 GGE will become one of the most effective bandwidth and also physical layer in the metro network. So people do not use 50 GE in the data center, but in the metro, people try to use. People consider 50 GE as one of the most cost-effective physical layer. So in terms of control, so the direction is to have one central control plane, central control nodes to manage all different equipment in the network. So with existing deployment, people are actually using cloudify technology for the control plane, and with our deployment, you can expect up to 10 million users per rack. So large scale is not a problem at all. And so other than that, as I keep on saying, I mean, software defined have been used extensively in all different segments in the network for provisioning. But in terms of IP layer and also optical layer, then we do see traffic optimization, dynamic provisioning, and also IP optical convergency. So in the left-hand side of the slide, you can see that people are using SDN to reroute the traffic so that you can have better utilization of the physical link for IP. So based on our deployment experience, you can increase the utilization from FH 30% to up to 80% based on technology like this. On the right-hand side is actually showing you how people using SDN as a technology to converge the IP and optical layer. So that means you can have a much effective dynamic provisioning tools to allow you to have an effective management or deployment of the tool plane. So this is a general picture talking about overall what we call in control plane. So as I said, the low matter DWDM, IP or broadband, also in the campus area or data center networking area, the direction of the control plane is pretty consistent, centralized. That means all the control function will be centralized in the data center. Cloud technology will be used extensively, so that you can have the required capacity and also the dynamic capability to do the provisioning. Software defined will be used to control the component, the active equipment in the networks, and AI, big data, deep learning the technology used extensively for O&M visualization, and also what we call intelligence. So this is the common direction for all the control plane, regardless of what sort of technology being deployed in the networking sector. So all I have just described is actually the technology itself. But we also start to see the service provider, the network service provider, on top of providing networking service, they also try to extend it to cover the on-customer premises managed service. So managed LAN and managed Wi-Fi is one of those services very typical as a logical extension for networking service provider to increase their service revenue or to increase their business. And as a matter of fact, this is a very fast-growing business for those networking service provider. So the overall concept is to have an intelligent platform that allow the service provider to help the customer to manage the network for the whole network lifecycle management, all the way from planning, deployment, and O&M to optimization. Okay, the technology available is based on centralized AI, all that SCN, all that to allow you to have zero touch, fast deployment. That means you can deploy, manage, optimize the customer premise network in the data center. That actually allow you to save a lot of OPEX costs. Okay, and the solution developed available to you allow you to serve customer ranging from a very small scale single site like a small SME customer all the way to a very large scale, super large scale multi-site customer. I mean, some of those may even have more than 10,000 sites. So all we saw up in the diagram on the left-hand side is actually telling you that it can apply to all different types of industry. As a matter of fact, the platform we have deployed up to now is able to scale up to over 200,000 devices. So other than that, I mean, of course, multi-domain, multi-level, multi-tenancy is available so that you can manage the whole network or the customer yourself. You can also recruit a service provider partners so that they manage the customer networks themselves, but they run on your platform. So there are different type of service deployment model that are available for you to choose. And as a matter of fact, we also start to see this managed LAN and managed Wi-Fi service people extended from to B to C, the so-called high premium user as well. So in short, this is one of the fast-growing industry the network service providers should consider. So the managed LAN and managed Wi-Fi service is one type of service, network service provider extended from the traditional networking service to on-premises services. But there's still very much network. But we also start to see the network service provider extend from network to IT. So this is what we call the managed IT service. So one of the examples we saw up here is storage as a service. So it's a very common requirement from the end user. As we saw in the diagram here. So in the data center, you deploy, or the service provider deploy different type of physical storage device fulfilling different requirements of the different requirements based on application. For example, in terms of IOPS, in terms of latency, in terms of capacity. So all these equipment will be stored in the data center network. It will be virtualized by a software that provide virtualized service, and on top of it, people will also add in additional apps, for example, like data protection, data security, data backup, or even data, or what we call the disaster recovery. So this is a platform available so that you can provide storage, different type of storage services to customer like government, education, retail, enterprise, whatever. So this is also one of the fast-growing business we do see on customer premises. The service provider trying to extend their business. And again, similar to the managed Wi-Fi and managed LAN, this is also very fast-growing business that the service provider should never ignore. So as a final summary of this section, point number one is that the market continue develop different networking technology that allow the end customer and other service provider to accelerate their digital transformation process. So as a quick summary of what we have discussed today, so the industries continue putting effort in the networking technology sector that will enable the transformation both for the service provider and also the end user. So regarding DWM, high bandwidth, long distance, SDN and AI-based management for O&M, direction, for broadband, multimedia technology develop, but we continue to develop to adapt for different physical media, but fiber FTTX is getting more and more dominant. And we do see for GPON, deployment moving from GPON to XGS-PON, and from the standard standpoint, I mean 50G PON will be available as a next generation. And one more important concept is that people also extend the GPON technology to 2B, physical environment, used as a IP Ethernet complementary, so that you can have a much better technology to be available for the customer to choose in the 2B environment. Microwave, similar to other technology, higher bandwidth, longer distance, and AI-based O&M. But we do see both point-to-point and point-to-multi-point technology available, both licensed and unlicensed. IPs very different. I mean, on top of the bandwidth increasing, the industry is also looking for moving to what we call the architecture change, including, for example, fabric architecture instead of ring architecture, decoupling of bare service network and also the service network, using SRv6 and EVPN to replace the traditional VPN technology and also the traffic optimization technology, traffic engineering technology. And we also start to see FAXI and 50G largely deployed. So there are more change in the IP layer than the other layer. And as I continue, keep on emphasizing AI, big data, cloudify, SDN as a control and management plane, so that people can expect intelligent O&M. And more than that, both the 2B and 2C managed service is actually will become the fast-growing business for the network service provider. And in short, Huawei is a technology company. We do continue putting effort in R&D that allow us to be your strategic technology partner long term. So with that, this end of my presentation. We would like to take whatever question you may have, so that we can have more detailed discussion. Thank you very much for your attention.
VR, 4K and 8K video are encouraging the rapid growth of high-quality home broadband networks. Indeed, more and more ISPs are choosing all-optical internet access. What has inspired this shift, and what benefits are gained? Let me hand you over to Eko Supriyanto, GPON Administrator of BizNet, who is going to tell us about building all-optical intelligent networks to support explosive traffic growth.
Hello everyone, this is Eko Supriyanto from BizNet Indonesia, who is in charge of GPON Network Admin. I do appreciate all your attendance to this ISP event, and it's so great to have chance for exchanging opinion and ideas with our global friends. Today, my topic is build out optical intelligent network to support explosive traffic growth. Allow me to introduce our company first. BizNet is a leading internet service provider in Asia. We have 20 years experience in digital infrastructure integration, owning more than 50,000 km fiber route and advanced data center to serve 70% citizens of Indonesia active internet customer. We offer various types of service in terms of home broadband, dedicated internet, dark fiber, co-location, managed Wi-Fi, and television for entertainment. We always believe the power of technology, so we commit to our customer to the best service. Business vision is an Indonesia where every individual and business is seamlessly connected to achieve their individual and collective potential, and the mission we would like to fulfill to be the best Indonesian provider of networking solution and multimedia through our commitment to world-class innovation, infrastructure, and service. When we look back the previous path, there are several key milestones need to be remarked. Business invests very much in fiber industry like we keep on extending our fiber route length and cover. Fiber development reaches a massive rollout state nowadays. No matter to provide the best customer experience, accelerate the enterprise digital transformation, or bring more digital value for residents, we need to rely on and benefit from fiber. Why? Fiber network over large capacity, visible SLA, and reliability. All these features are we need. Business select fiber as our strategy since we notice it's the fundamental of new ICT infrastructure to improve the standard of our society and our country. Let me share some key findings from Global Connect Index (GCI), a professional report from Huawei in 2020. As a developing country, only 12% households in Indonesia enjoy internet access, while only 10% of them are using fiber. Compared with the other countries in Asia or around the world, we are still behind, so we will and must to do more from our side. Another reason is something unpredictable, COVID-19, which changed our normal life entirely. We notice there is a traffic flood, but we are confident to conquer it with our weapon. Now people work from home, learn from home, and live from home. The user behavior requires a robust network and satisfy all family members to help us approach the end day of pandemic. So what is the response from business? The first step is we speed up the marketing action and support our business plan. During the COVID-19 period, we increased our home broadband packet with more bandwidth but without additional costs, and plus more entertainment like Wi-Fi and business video. Our technicians implement more community promotion to let our customer to feel business is here and serve. So everything we did is to keep our customer satisfaction when they are at home. On the other hand, we must have a very powerful network to support this. Business is always working together with a global leading solution provider like Huawei. To take advantage of new solution, we deploy new platform to enable network automation, which help us to reduce OPEX. Our fiber network platform is future-oriented with support ultra bandwidth. Meanwhile, we also concern about rural area and small villages by deploying compatible OLT. At last, we pay attention to our customer home, providing home net premium Wi-Fi to let them surf internet more interesting. As we commit, business will always innovate our service. There will be a brighter future for everyone if we believe in technology and people. Thank you for your listening and attention today for my presentation.
Everything Huawei does is focused on helping you and your organization achieve success. Let's hear from one of our customers all about their experiences in the industry. Let me welcome Ronald Bursala from Converge ICT Solutions, a leading digital service provider in the Philippines.
As an innovative ICT service provider in the Philippines, Converge is actively exploring new businesses, such as IDC services. So far, we have already built or leased 9 data centers in Metro Manila. In addition to our own services, we also carry lots of internet and enterprise applications, including video, e-payment, online education, and telecommuting. These new services are based on AI, big data, and cloud computing, placing higher requirements on data center interconnect. In particular, the bandwidth demand on DCI has increased tenfold in just 2 years, and traditional DCI solutions could not keep up. When bandwidth, space, power consumption, and O&M fall below expectations, DCI must be upgraded. DCI is crucial to the computing capability of data centers. Ideally, WDM DCI should be future-proof for the next decade. Fortunately, we chose Huawei DC Optics solution, which consists of optic strands DC908 and iMaster NCE. The Huawei DC Optics solution adapts to multiple services and can deploy optical and electrical layers in one box, thanks to the high integration design. The footprint is reduced by over 70%. It delivers bandwidth in core data centers that is 20 times higher, significantly reducing fiber cost. DC908 supports a maximum of 800 gigabits per wavelength and up to a maximum of 120 wavelengths. The largest single fiber capacity in the industry, perfect for Converge's long-term development plan. DCI is an important player in data center expansion. When you have slow DCI deployment, it holds back your expansion, resulting in delayed service provisioning. This poses a big problem, especially in a digital economy era that is highly competitive on fast service rollout. To overcome this problem, Huawei delivers automatic commissioning through DC908, slashing deployment time from days to just 8 minutes. This can be easily completed by our IT/IP engineers, which greatly improves our ability to respond to the market changes. When DCI becomes overwhelmed with traffic, O&M becomes the number one priority. In response to this, Huawei DC Optics provides intelligent O&M for DCI fibers and devices. It offers fiber fault prediction, allowing us to identify whether optical fibers are sub-healthy several weeks in advance to avoid unnecessary losses. The system intelligently determines whether the working and protection fibers are on the same route or cable. This is useful in scenarios where fibers are leased to configure DCI protection, avoiding ineffective investment. Additionally, precise fault locating lets us filter out 95% of noisy alarms, helping us quickly locate root causes. These intelligent functions massively enhance O&M efficiency and the reliability of the entire DCI system. Converge is striving to advance the Philippines' digital economy, and our new strategy of providing reliable IDC services based on future-proof DCI technology is at the heart of this. By cooperating with Huawei, we have learned about Huawei's leadership in the DCI field. Through Huawei DC Optics 2.0 solution, we are confident and ensured that Converge will thrive more in this field to provide the Filipino market with the services they truly deserve.
Innovation is critical to every industry, and ours is no exception. In our final session of the day, this video is going to take us through our latest product offering, DC Optics 2.0.
In the era of intelligence, a wave of digitalization is sweeping through. There is an unprecedented ocean of data. Business volumes have exploded, and enterprises are moving ahead. How to maximize the value of your data center and to make your business more agile? Huawei Optics Trans DC908, an intelligent DCI product from the optical industry leader, enables intelligent data center interconnection through the medium of light. When the network meets the peaks of the digital waves, witness how it breaks through the transmission limitations. Huawei's unique Super C+L band technology realizes 222 wavelengths, and the self-developed Optic Stream ODSP chip supports 800G each wavelength, realizing massive transmission of 88T on one single fiber, approaching the limits of transmission. When communication technology meets information technology, witness its simple design. Huawei's optical electrical integrated design breaks the limits of innovation. Based on automatic fiber discovery light sensors and other technologies, truly simple one-click deployment can be realized in a shorter time. When light meets intelligence, witness its extraordinary operational power. A dedicated smart chip and the cutting-edge optical sensor creates a future-oriented intelligent operation and maintenance experience. Ensures proactive O&M. Free up your IT staff's time. Liberate your imagination with technology. Promote evolution with innovation. Create your path through the intelligent cloud era. Huawei Optics Trans DC908.
As we draw this ISP session to a close, let me thank you for joining us here at Huawei Industrial Digital Transformation Conference 2021. If you'd like to rewatch anything you've just seen, please visit e.huawei.com, and of course, you are welcome to get in touch with your local Huawei representatives to learn more. Thank you and goodbye.